Is that
Hey,
is that better, or should I turn that off? Hold on.
let's see. Turn it back on. Has a little bit of light over here. Yeah, there you go. That's better.
That's
Is that
better.
right? Yeah.
Right.
Cool. So yeah, let's jump right into it. Welcome everybody to our Be Inspired night. And tonight we have the pleasure to have Rodney Foster with us. Welcome, Rodney.
Hey, what's going on?
Great. So, if you guys don't know, Rodney is a very successful thriver. We met just a couple of weeks ago, and I was watching your story on Instagram, and I was like, "Oh my God, I could not even realize by talking to you, right?" So, based on that, I wanted to have Rodney come on and kind of share with us his journey and try to, inspire us a little bit to be great.
Oh man, that's gonna be tough, man. I mean, it's so okay. So what is the question? Like, so where are we gonna start tonight?
So, let's start from who was Rodney before Thrive?
Who was Rodney before Thrive? He was a struggling, networker. I was in a previous company, and
Hmm.
I was kind of earning my stripes, if that makes sense. And went through a lot ups and downs. Because when you first join, network marketing, the first thing you got to deal with is rejection.
Yep.
And me coming up, I wasn't really used to a lot of rejection, from anybody. It was just like, wow. So when you get into this, you think you have this great product and you think everyone's gonna get on it, and then reality hits you and you like boom, and it hits you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so I really want to do this. You know what I'm saying? So, I was just a regular guy, working a regular job, and my background, of course, was sports. I had my ex, professional basketball player, and I tore my ACL. And then after that, I just started working every little job that I could to make ends meet. I had a son on the way, and I just didn't want to be no bum guy, but at the same
Mhm.
time, I didn't want to live check to check. So when I first heard about network marketing, so honestly, I didn't believe in the industry at first because you know how your friends come to you with certain things and you done heard
Yep.
this and heard about that and heard about this, heard about that. I was like, I'm not interested. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was like a pipe dream. I thought it was like
Mhm.
too good to be true. And I just didn't believe it for me. It was happening for other people, but I didn't believe it for me. And so then when I hit rock bottom, that's when I was like, you know what? I may need to look at this industry. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I found my previous company, which was it was like maybe my second or third company that I had joined. But I
Mhm.
didn't take it. I didn't take those other companies serious. But when I got into that company, the leadership and the culture kind of sucked me in to actually learn and work on my mindset. That's kind of how I came into my belief, and then built a name for myself. And then, you know, from there it was just crazy because when I um when I first started, that company, like I said, I had hit rock bottom. I had no car. It got stolen.
Mhm.
I lost my job, so I got evicted out of my place. So I really didn't have nowhere to go. I burnt my bridge to go back home, and I was like, I had to go forward. So I just started hopping around city to city, state to state. Whoever I could stay with, I would stay with, and I did that for 3 years. And so like it was tough because you don't want to bug nobody. You're a grown man, and you're like you're not even telling them your situation. You're just like trying to play like you want to help them build their team, but in
Yep.
reality, you just need somewhere to lay your head for a few days or a week or
Yep.
two. You know what I'm saying? So, but dealing with that, man, and just the ups and downs of the industry, and again, it's a mental game, you know. And I had to work on my mindset more than anything else. And that's kind of what kept me going on my journey. So, and that's before I found Lavelle. So,
Yeah.
I did
So,
that for a long time.
who introduced you to Lavelle?
Um, well, it was another guy in the previous company. We was in the same company, but we
Hmm.
wasn't on the same team. And he asked me to look at it, and I looked at it and I was like, I don't know. You know, I was not for sure. I just wasn't sure about it. And it looked cool. I just wasn't for sure if I wanted to do it because I thought it looked like this company and that company. So I was like, I don't know if I want to do it. And so, you know, back then it was a different website. It ain't the same one that we have now. So it was very different, you know, back then. So I just remember I'd be up all night and looking at it and wondering if I really wanted to, you know, take advantage of it. And I called the owner of the company and I told him, listen, you know, my name is Rodney Foster. I'm in this company. And I tried to actually Paul Rivette, right? So I called him like I was this big time dude in this company. I'm acting like I'm making all this money. And he's like, well, Rodney, you know, how much do you have to make to come over here? And I'm acting like I'm just balling over here, you know, I'm broke, you know, saying, but I didn't tell him that. And so like, but the guy that actually told me, he kind of told me his plan for me, right? So he was like, well, Rodney, I'm gonna put you with these guys. I'm gonna stay over here. And then when momentum goes down, then I'm gonna come over here. And then, so I said, at first I said, okay, but then I was like, no, I don't wanna go that route. I wanna be with somebody that's gonna lead me the right way. You know, Absolutely. That's why I called the CEO and was like, hey, you know, such and such did tell me, but I kind of regret that you sponsor me because if I'm gonna do this, I need to be with somebody that's beyond serious and can show me the ropes of this company so I can win.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of, you know, how I met Mike Page and then Paul sponsored Mike and he introduced me to Mike and that's how me and Mike became partners.
That's good. Well, you've been with the company for like 6 years.
7.
At Lavelle, right?
Yeah, 7 years.
7 years? And well, that's almost as long as Lavelle has been around, right?
No, it's been around about 8.5 now.
8.5, yeah. But you kind of started from the beginning, even because it was around for a year and a half, a little bit
about
before.
A year and a half before I joined, yeah.
And then it was I would consider that a relatively new company. So for you to be putting out there like this, you're promoting this new company, and there's so many other programs that have been around for more years, you know, you're asking people to trust you with this new product. How did you go about doing this? Like, how did you go about gaining the trust of so many people?
I mean, it's hard. You just have to do it. Like, I mean, our system in the Lavelle is so simple though. Like, honestly, it wasn't even me. It was more of me just doing 3-way calls, you know, with Mike, just following what Paul and Mike told me to do. You know, I wasn't trying to be the guy. I wasn't trying to be the man. I wasn't trying to be Mr. Molecule and tell them all about the products and this. I wasn't trying to be the man. And so I followed a simple system, you know. If someone had a question, I would just get them on the phone with Mike and let him talk to that person. And that was it. So it wasn't even about them. I mean, they did trust me because they did obviously listen, you know, but, you know, it was up to them to order the product because with us, it's more about the product than it is about the opportunity. You know, our product is our celebrity, you know, so we're not over here like, you know, flashing money and this and that, which is great, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we don't try to lead people in through that. We try to lead people in with the product because we know our product is why our company is where it's at, you know? So for me, that's kind of how it happened. It was more trust the product. They trusted the product. And I just shared the information.
Well, you know what? Now that you mentioned the product, I know what my first experience with the product was, because when I reached out to Yesenia, I saw her on Instagram and I reached out to her. I saw the patch and I was like, that's cool. Like, what is this? And she told me what it was. And, you know, she told me that it could boost my energy and, you know, if I was doing weight loss and stuff like that. So, of course, I was like, yeah, whatever. You know, you're telling me about your product. You're going to say all that stuff. So I remember the first day she called me after I took it. And I was like, I do feel a difference, but I feel like it's my head. So I'm going to catch you back tomorrow with that. And then the next day I was like, oh, it's happening. This is real. So what was your first experience like with the product?
You know, Char, man, it's funny. You know, a lot of people's experience is from the product, right? But you know, when I looked at Lavelle, I didn't care about the product. You know, I was homeless, I was carless. You know, I needed some money.
Yep.
So I'm just being, you know, honest about it. I don't have no crazy story because I ordered the product without trying it because my thing was this. I saw people that was already on the product. I read some stories. I saw some videos of people already using it. And in my mind, Shar, I was like, either these people deserve some Oscars because they're acting really, really, really good, or the stuff works, right? And so I chose to believe that it worked. Okay. That was, I said, you know what? This is something, this product. So they can't be acting. This can't be all the act because you know how some people are, they're just acting or whatever. No, something was up with it. So I was like, well, I'm going to believe what I'm seeing and what I'm reading. And so I ordered the product. And, you know, my thing was, you know, Mike said, well, Rodney, if you're not got these bonuses in this short amount of time, then I'll add on top of it. So I was like, say less. But he, again, Mike didn't know my situation either. I didn't tell nobody. So, but in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I need that, you know? And so I knocked out my bonuses even before the product even got to my doorstep. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, well, I was ready, you know what I'm saying? So, but I will say this, when I did get my pack, Paul did call me and he said, you know, when you get up in the morning, you know, take it first thing on an empty stomach. And he said, what do you normally do during the day? I said, well, I'm gonna get a workout in. So he said, okay, after you take it, go to the gym. I remember going to the gym. Me and my boy went. We did a whole session, regular stuff that we normally do, right? And after it was over, I was like, bro, I'm do this all over again. He was like, what do you mean? I said, bro, I can go again right now, bro. Let's go again right now. Do the whole circuit all over again right now. He was like, you tripping. And I was like, I just don't feel like going home right now. I just had this energy in me that was like I ain't even felt it before. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, wait a minute, something's up with this, you know? And so just like you, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see what happens again tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Because like, is it placebo effect or like what's going on here? You know, so next day, same thing. Third day, Paul said, right, I tell you what. He said, put a DFT on both arms. At that time, I just had just one on, right? He said, put one on each arm. So when I put one on each arm, yo, I could not believe like what was going on in my body. I was just like, yo, something is really up with this. And I was like, these patches is something up with them. You know what I'm saying? So and that's when I knew for a fact I hit a home run because now I know for a fact I got a product that works. You know, and I don't have to hard sell it because once they get on it, the product gonna do the work. You know, I ain't tripping about it.
I agree with you. It's funny you said about the product because I went to work the next day and I'm there like smiling all day, all perky, you know, running around and doing something. I'm like, why am I so happy to be here right now? Like, what is going on?
I'm telling you. And I get that so much, man. I be getting text messages and people like, yo, what is in this stuff, man? Like, people like, what is in this? You know, is it this and that? I was like, man, chill out, man. But they just can't believe that they actually are really feeling good. You know,
no, it really works. Like, I believe in this product 100%. You know, I tried out another company before, and too many steps. So what I love with Lavelle is that it's so simple. It's literally 3 steps, and you don't have to do anything else. Like, literally 3 steps, and you do your workout routine, and you're good. Let's talk a little bit about your mindset. You mentioned that before, because when you got into Lavelle, you were in a spot, and the aim was to get out of that. You know, what are some of the things that you used to motivate you during that time, besides the fact that you were homeless, which is clearly a motivating factor? You know, what else were you like? What else was in the back of your mind that was keeping you going day after day when you heard those no's? Like, what was keeping you going?
The possibility that I could win. You know, I had a son away. You know, and like I said, I didn't want to be a deadbeat dad. I didn't want to treat my son like my dad, you know, did me, right? So that played a little bit of my motivation too. But at the same time, you gotta understand I'm a grown man. You know, I took the route of, you know what, I'm not going to get a regular job because at this point, um, I'm already here. If I stop my momentum now, I feel like it's gonna kill everything I worked hard for. So like right now, so I said I'm going to just stick with it. And in my mind, Char, I said I don't care if it takes me 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. I was in it for the long run. So my thing was, hey, I'm gonna show people I can make it. And another thing that motivated me, Char, was like I've always kind of been the underdog. Even when it came to me playing ball, I wasn't good at first. I sucked. So what motivated me to get better in basketball, because I played football at first, but then I quit and went to play basketball, and all the players were like, "Why is he out here? He's a football player." But I wasn't. I mean, I was, but I could play ball too. But I just wasn't fundamentally sound. I was a street player, So I had to restructure my whole game. But I was terrible. So they laughed at me, and that motivated me. And so it's like when you doubt me or tell me I can't do something, that just makes me want to go harder, makes me want to get, better to show you that you was wrong about me. So when I went back the following year, they was like, oh, Rodney done changed he's better than all of us now. So then it just elevated from there. And it was the same thing with Lavelle. When I left the previous company, people who I thought were my friends, they was laughing at me. Oh, if he can't sell this, he going to sell patches, or he going to sell this, they making fun of me. They was blocking me on social media, telling their team, don't unfollow Rodney, unfriend him, all this and all that. And I was just surprised because I'm like, these was my friends. Regardless of what I decided to do for me, we supposed to be homies, supposed to be boys. And so I was like, you know what? Okay, cool. That's how we're gonna play it. And so it just motivated me to show them that I made the right decision. Even though at first I didn't know if I did. Okay. I didn't know, but something in my gut just said, go with it, and I just felt like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get it done. And I didn't care how long it took me. And it's so funny now because, I'm saying people that was laughing at me and things like that, they're in my inbox, what I'm saying? And congratulations, I knew this, I knew that. And it's like, yeah, okay. Appreciate it, but I know what you said, but I use just that as gas, as fuel, what I'm saying, for me. So I'm one of them people that if you challenge me, I'm going to prove you wrong about me. And that's just how I've always had that attitude. Like if you tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna do just show you that I can do it. And I've always kind of been driven like that.
Absolutely.
That's an internal thing for me from playing ball, I guess. I hate losing.
Competitive spirit much?
Very, yeah.
I'm the same. I'm super competitive. So if I'm in a competition, I'm in it to win. So
I don't care if we play at Connect 4, Monopoly. I don't care. Dominoes.
Doesn't matter.
I do not want to lose. Period. I don't want to lose. Sorry.
Me too. Funny story. Me and my husband, we went to Whistler the other day and we were doing axe throwing. And we were doing a little bit of a competition. And it was kind of like whenever I saw him throw an axe, I'm like running back to get mine to get it in, just like.
I've never even did that before. I don't even know how that works. I see some people do it, but I don't even know how the person even know how to do that.
There's a technique to it, but it's super fun. You should try it sometimes.
I probably will. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. What books are you reading now?
Man, I have a lot, man. Right now, I've been rereading "You Born Rich," by Bob Proctor. I mean, but at the end of the day, like, there's so many books that I've read, and right now, I'm actually, I don't even want to put it out there right now, but I'm actually working on a project right now. So it ain't the fact of what I'm reading right now, but it's what I've been reading and a lot of stuff that I'm listening to. Because right now, if I was going to my room, I can show you, like, I have stuff that when I'm asleep, it plays certain books, for me. So because your mind never sleeps. Your subconscious mind is always woke. So when I'm asleep, there's something playing in the background that my mind's always listening to. So even when I wake up, it's still playing. So I've been doing that for a while now. So, I mean, there's nothing particular right now because I like to reread books. A lot of people read books, but that's all they do. They don't study them. They don't do nothing but read them. Because then when you ask somebody about the book, all they say was, I read it. But then when you ask them about it, they can't really tell them about it. They just say, I just read the book. So I like to read it to digest it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, they don't understand that. You know, you got to digest the knowledge. You don't just read it, you know, because you always miss something. You know, every time, even though you rewatch a movie, you be like, I didn't see it the first time.
Yep.
You know, it's just like the same thing with a book. You got to reread it again and again. You know, and so one of my mentors from my other company, he would read a chapter like 10 times before going to the next one, just to digest that entire chapter, you know, and that's where I learned that from. So, you know, for me, like I said, I've been working on a project that I haven't really told nobody about yet, and that's really been my focus, you know. So, you know, right now, man, it's just, I have a lot of books here, a lot of books that, and a lot of audio books, you know, on my phone that I listen to while I'm working out and things like that, just to read. I've heard it already, but I'm just hearing it again just for it to digest into my mind, you know, so that's pretty much where I'm at today.
If you were to like name like the top 5 out of everything that you've read, what would you say those are?
Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. That's the one book that probably changed me right there. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. How to Win Friends and Influence People. And The 4 Agreements.
As soon as you said the second one, I was like, oh, okay. Definitely, yeah. Definitely.
They'll probably the most impactful books that I've read.
Love it. So, what I want to ask you, because being new to this journey and, you know, following the steps and doing what I'm told, you know, listening to my upline, listening to my mentors and stuff like that. By the way, you are now one of my mentors. In case you didn't know. Let's make it official. You are now one of my mentors.
That's funny.
Like I'm going through the process and I'm doing it, and one of the most important things that you touch on is like changing your mindset. And I have been trying to recreate my mindset, trying to change it from what it was, because I've never been a type of person. I don't like taking orders. Let's start there. I don't like being told what to do. So that's my why for getting out of the traditional working world and owning my own business and that. You know, and I have a couple of things that I have on the go because I can't stay steady. But what would you say? What would you say to me right now that's just starting this journey? What would your advice be to me, or a Rodney? What would your advice be?
I would say respect your process. You know, changing is not easy. You know, if it was, everybody would be, you know, winning. Everybody would be skinny, rich, and happy. You know what I'm saying? If it was just so easy, you know, change is not easy for any of us, you know, especially when you've been conditioned for so long. We're talking about years of conditioning from our parents, from our friends, you know, from our teachers, you know, for so many years. And then when you want to change that, you know, it's a paradigm shift that happens, you know, so you're going to go through things to help you grow, because you can't say that you want this kind of lifestyle and then when something happens, you quick to give up, or to be like, this ain't working, or I'm going to another company, or no, like you have to respect your process, and most people don't. Now, it's one thing that if you know something is not going to work for you, like if you know 100%, like this ain't gonna get me to where I want to be, then you have to reevaluate your life, you know, because that's what happened with me and the other company. I knew I had worked my tail off in that company. I knew what I was doing. And for me to be working so hard for so long and not to see any change, at all, like zero. I was like, you know what? I can't. I just lost it, you know. So that's why at first I was skeptical about Lavelle because I had been so involved in that company. I had made so many friends, you know. I had, you know, just developed my own reputation in that company, so people knew me, you know. So people knew me now for business instead of being a ball player. So it was different for me. So, you know, for me, I would just say, if you can stay active, you won't get frustrated. The only reason people get frustrated is because their activity is low. But when your activity is high, you don't got time to be frustrated. So, and I tell people all the time, it takes different exposures for people to actually order or buy from you because we live in a world where nobody trusts anybody these days. You know, so if they can see that you're serious about what you're doing and you're consistent about what you're doing, it's just a matter of time. You know, I got people that's ordering Thrive now that I put in for free a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. They're just not ordering, you know. And so you have, like I said, the biggest thing right now is for you to be patient, especially with you being new. Like, I never understand how somebody will get into the industry, this profession, and because they're not rich in a year, they swear it don't work. But here's the kick. You've been on your job for how many years? You've been on your job 10 years and you ain't nowhere near close to being wealthy, to being rich. You know what I'm saying? You still living check to check. And because you got into this industry, you know, and it didn't work, you quit. My thing is this, and I used to ask this question in my previous company when I used to be in front of the hotel room. I would say, raise your hand if you're married. And I would have some people raise their hand. And I would pick a guy out. I pick a guy. And I would say, hey, bro, that's your wife? He said, yeah. I said, is she the first woman you dated? He said, no. I said, is she the second? No. Is she the third? No. I said, well, I'm gonna stop right there. I don't want to get you in trouble. Okay. And I said it's mighty funny how people will fight for love in relationships back to back to back to back, no matter if they got hurt, used, whatever. They will just till they find the one. They gonna put themselves out there till they find the one. But when it comes to your financial freedom, your time freedom, and you have a vehicle that can get you there, you'll quit. And then you be like, well, I tried one of those before. They don't work for me. What do you mean they don't work for you? That last girl didn't work for you, but you still trying to, you know. So it's like, what are we talking about? You know, what do you really want out of your life? If that's what you want, if you just want that, that's great. Nothing wrong with that. But obviously, you're here for a reason. You know, you're here for a huge reason, and it could change your life if you allow it to. So my thing is, you know, you have to work on your mentality a lot because your mind will play tricks on you. And I think I said on the call the other night that this profession is 95% mental, 5% skill. If you can work on your mentality, you'll be fine. Because again, it takes time to grow. It takes time to change. You don't change overnight, okay? So again, what are you doing every day to just work on yourself? You know, who are you hanging out with? Who are you talking to? And that's why I said on the call the other night too. Are you reaching up to your leadership? You know, if you need it, you know, like, are you communicating? You can't do this on your own, you know? So
I agree.
My thing is, you know, like, respect your process, you know, and you got to just keep doing it. Like, when I first got started, I'm telling you, Shar, I promise you, Mike Page, I know I got on his nerves. I promise you, I got on his last nerve because, again, he didn't know my situation, right?
Yeah.
So he told me to do this. So I'm like, he said, I don't care if you call me 100 times a day. Oh, really?
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so I'm telling you, all day, every day, 3-8, calling, texting, calling, yo, I need you, I need you. I mean, I'm sure he was like, hello. I'm just sure I could tell I was getting his nerves because I didn't think he felt like I was gonna really be as aggressive as I was.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say that too. You gotta be somewhat aggressive. You can't just be laid back and chilling, like, because you're in the company, it's just gonna happen for you. No, sometimes you gotta get on somebody's nerves. Sometimes you gotta just keep going. I can tell you so many stories of people in our company that one friend kept bugging them, even though they kept telling them, no, I'm not interested. No, I don't want to do it. They kept dripping on them. And that person finally came. And they're killing it right now. Matter of fact, I got a guy on my team now, one of the top Latino guys in the entire company. He told me no for a very long time because he was in the other company that I was in. But man, we was kind of cool. And I was like, hey, bro, I know you ain't really making it. He was like, I'm fine. But then my mom like, bro, I know you ain't doing good. Like, I know you not. I said, you come over here and kill it. So for like 3 or 4 months, maybe 5, he kept telling me no. So one day I called him again, follow up with him again. He ordered a pack just so I would leave him alone. He said, okay, how much is it? I said, bro, whatever pack you want. He ordered a pack. So he said, now I ordered it. So maybe you can stop calling me now. So he said this is his story, Yeah. So he was like, I finally got the product. He said he didn't take it, but his wife, she opened it up. She took it. And she was like, hey, what's in this stuff? So it triggered him. So for him to take it, then he was like, well, wait a minute. He looked at it, took it, and then I remember this night, Charlotte, like crazy. I don't know where I was in the world at this time, but I was somewhere and my phone rang, and it was him. And I was like, he's calling me? Because normally I'm always calling him, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait a minute, he's calling me? So I'm like, hello? He was like, Rodney, how you doing? I'm like, what's up, bro? He went into this whole story about, hey, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? So if you stay on top of people sometimes, if you think they're worth it, then you got to do what you got to do. But, you ain't got to water hose people about Thrive. You know what I'm saying? Like,
True.
you can be yourself, but certain people, certain ones that that you feel in your heart of hearts, hey, you gotta just stay knocking at that door, and just keep moving.
I agree. So whoever is listening that has told me no, I'm coming back. Remember that.
I mean, like I said, some people that aren't, that are scary. But I knew this guy. I knew he was a worker. I knew he would do it. Like I knew if I just get him on the phone with Mike or Paul, I knew he could actually do it. Some people, they just too timid, And again, that's the growth part. You gotta grow. If you want something, somebody told me the other day, like, they don't like selling. And I was like, but if I can tell you make 30, 50 grand a month, you can learn to like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you don't like doing something don't mean you can't learn to like it. If you're gonna make this kind of income when you say you broke, when you say you don't have no money, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly.
So again, like a lot of people will, come up with, excuses and things like that, and people will lie to you, and so I'm telling you that as a new person, because people will lie. They'll tell you they're gonna order and they don't order. People will say, call me at 5 o'clock today, and you call and they don't answer. They go missing, I mean, and that's all growing you. That's all part of your journey. That's all part of like, you know what? I gotta take my licks. I gotta go through it like everybody else, because I went through it too. You can't get around that part. You just gotta go through it, because that's the only way that you're gonna make it on the other side. That's the only way you're gonna make it is if you keep going. And one thing about me, once I made my mind up, Shar, again, I didn't care how long it took me. I was gonna keep going until it got done. And honestly, I hit some walls. I did. I was frustrated a lot of times. Like, man, did I make the right decision? Is this the right company for me? Like, I had to, again, there was internal battles because your mind is going to play tricks on you all the time. And there's two voices always in your head at all times. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, which one are you feeding? the most, you know. So so I would just say, man, you know, be patient, keep working on yourself, you know, keep your activity high. And if you need to take a break for a day or two, take a break for a day or two. As long as you're constantly working, though, you can't take a break three or four times a week. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna get you nowhere. You know, some people take a break. I remember, man, it's a quick story. This one person joined me kind of when I first started, and they was on it, killing it. I mean, they hit 12K their first month. I mean, they was like on it, right? Now, mind you, right, this was November, right?
Mm-hmm.
December came along. They felt since they hit 12K, they car bonus qualified, you know, first big, you know, bonus, whatever. The whole month of December, because it was the holidays, right? The holiday month, family, they took off the whole month. They tried to start back up in January. They had no momentum. And so because they lost their momentum, they just lost it and quit. Because you was on the up, then you took the whole month off, then you try to do it again, and you lost everybody that you had because you took the whole, you was out the club, you partying, kicking it, doing this, doing that, and then when you want to work again, you done lost your whole team. And now everyone else to blame but you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I said on the call, your worst enemy is your last success. You know what I'm saying? So if you are at a certain level, that's your worst enemy, because now you done hit a rank, and now you're just like, man, I'm here. And now you don't have that fortitude to be like, I want to go to the next level. And then when you get there, that's your biggest enemy. Because now you're fighting your mind, because you're like, man, I'm trying to get to the next level. And again, like I said, everyone has different goals. Your goals aren't my goals. And that's why when I work with somebody, I'm asking you, what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? Once I figure that out, then we can go from there. But I can't get mad at you, Shar, if you be like, Rodney, I don't want to make 10 grand a week. I don't want to make 20 grand a week, you know? I'm not saying, I'm not making any income claims, no income claims. I'm just saying, like, some people's goals are that. Some people's goals aren't that. Like, everybody has different mindsets about, you know, income, you know? So I'm just saying in terms of, like, you know, this profession, you know, the people that can stay positive, you know, and have a good support system. Like, I don't know how your husband is with the business and things like that, because I've seen a lot of relationships. I've seen a lot of stuff, you know, happen, you know, somebody's, you know, tripping or jealous or whatever the case may be, you know. But if you can, you know, if you have a strong support system and you can, like, maintain that high activity level. And like I said, if you ever need to take a break here and there, it's okay. But just don't take a break for too long, because you can't afford to. You can't do it. And not in this industry. This is not a 9-to-5 job. You have, especially with you have to treat this like a job in the beginning so it can pay you like a business later. You're working for a strong residual income to last you for life. That's what you want. You know what? Like right now, Shar, I don't have to talk about Thrive. I gotta say nothing about Lavelle. I don't have to. But I love it. I love doing it. I love working with people. I love impacting lives. I've been doing this for a long time. You know, so again, it's just a matter of you like really making a decision and sticking to your decision. You know, and if something's going wrong, communicate with your leadership, you know, with us, and go from there. So again, there's no magic formula for this, because when I was stuck at 80K for 5, 6, 7 months, I didn't know what I thought I was doing something wrong. I thought I was saying something wrong. But Mike was like, no, you're not. Just keep doing what you're doing. It just wasn't my time yet. But then when I hit it, 200K, boom, it took off. But I kept going through the frustrations, you know what I'm saying? Through the walls, I just kept pushing and kept pushing, you know, because again, you will get frustrated sometimes. It's just part of the business. It's business. Yeah. And you're working with people. So it's just part of the journey. You know, it'll make you tougher. It won't kill you. It won't kill you, I promise.
We got one question here that somebody had. They say, how do you know when it's time to seek a new opportunity or reroute your plan with your company?
Repeat the question, please.
How do you know when it's time to seek a new opportunity or reroute your plan within your company?
Um, I think it comes down to the company. To be honest with you, um, that company that I left, um, it just for me because. But now the person asking that question, my question to them would be, how hard are you working on your business? And if you're really, really working it like you should be, and you're still not seeing the results, and you've been there for a while, then there's something going on with that company. But again, if I don't know who that is, I can't
Yeah.
gauge the activity because a lot of people will say they doing this and doing that, but then when you actually look in the back, you look in the cloud office, you see they ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people looking for an easy way out. So my thing is, I mean, in your heart, I think you know. And to just be honest, I think you know. Like when I left that company, I felt weird leaving at first because I have been so attached to it for so long. Like that was like my first real company. Like
Mhm.
that was my first time taking it serious. Like I'm growing. I done hit a rank. I done made a little money, but not a lot. So it's like, man, I'm actually doing something. And you know, I just so when I heard about Lavelle, man, I don't know, it was just something about it that I just kept going to the website and I just kept looking at it every night for hours. I'm hitting every tab I'm looking at every little thing. And so um I just I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. But I don't know. I mean, everyone's different, man. Everyone's in different situations. I don't know that person's situation. I don't know kind of how to gauge that. It's kind of hard to tell anybody that. I would never want to tell somebody to give up. But I think if you want to leave that situation or that opportunity, you're not quitting on your dreams. You just chose another vehicle to get there. As long as you don't give up on you, don't give up on you. I mean, hey, people leave Lavelle, and go elsewhere, and there's nothing wrong with that. People leave other companies, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is part. It's part of the business. That's part of the industry. It happens every day. So again, sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. So to answer that question, I really can't because I don't know. To be honest with you, I just feel like you just know.
You just know what you know.
Yeah.
The one last thing I wanted to touch on before we finish here tonight, I stole it from your Instagram.
Huh?
I stole something from your Instagram that I wanted to touch on before we go. It's a phrase that you had written down, and I had it on the flyer. Write it down, make a plan,
Right.
make it plain, read it, and see it every day. I strongly believe in um, manifesting what you want to become. I believe in picturing it, visualizing it, and working towards it. And when I read this, I kind of thought of a vision board and writing down exactly what you want in the future, and then breaking it down into steps and how to get there. So I don't know if this was your phrase or not, but I took it from your Instagram.
What you say?
I don't know if it was your phrase or not, but I took it from your Instagram. Um,
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I'm trying to remember. I know what you're talking about,
yeah.
but I don't know what post it was. I don't know what mind frame I was in, or was it? I don't know how long ago it was. Like, I just don't
Well,
know. So when I certain pictures, I put certain things with. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So like, I don't know what picture or post it was for me to remember because I do so much. And I was like, I know what you're saying, but I don't remember what post it was.
But there
But
was something in the
I do
documentary.
remember.
Yeah, because you mentioned something in the documentary about like There was a picture that you showed in your documentary, and you made mention of your mom as well in there. When it came on to like visualizing, because you mentioned that you had kind of had to step away from your mom to kind of push towards your goal because she wasn't being positive about the move that you were making. Um, so when it comes on to that, because there's a lot of people that are gonna be like, no, what you're doing doesn't make sense. Like it's a pipe dream that you said before, like, go to work essentially and stop living in the clouds. You know what I mean? Um, how do you shake that off though? How do you what was your strategy to separate yourself from that negativity? Like,
I think any company, no matter what company that you're in this profession, they're going to tell you the same thing. It doesn't matter who they are. Your life is your life. You're doing this for you and your family. You have your own family. My mom has, her family, her situation. I'm part of her family. Yes, I'm her son, but my mom has her family
yeah.
too. She has other situations. I'm a grown man now. I have to take care of me. I can't depend on my mom now to take care of me. I gotta do what I gotta do. So and like I said, like I didn't care who it was, and I still don't. If you're talking bad about what I'm doing, I can't associate with you. Period. I'm not with it. That's one thing to not order. You ain't got to order from me, fine. But to talk bad about it is another thing. You know what I'm saying? And again, I was such in the zone that if you said anything bad about Thrive, like I had no words for you. And again, normally the universe is always going to test you with somebody close to you. It's never a stranger, somebody, because you don't care about a stranger.
Exactly.
They can say whatever, and you like, oh, so what? You don't know me. You don't know. You don't know. But if it's somebody close to you saying some crazy stuff to you,
it is.
you kind of like trip out a little bit,
Yep.
and you gotta, but you have to shake it off though, because again, the universe is always going to test you to see how bad you want something, and at that moment, um, and I had to take a step back and understand that my mom is coming from a place of what she knows and what she's been around. She can't. I've been exposed to certain people, certain things that she hasn't been exposed to, so she don't see or be around the lifestyles that I've been around. So she's only going off of what she knows. So I had to understand that it's because she's my mom don't mean she knows. And one of my mentors always told me this. He said, Rodney, never take advice from somebody that you wouldn't trade places with. And my mom, she lives good, yeah, but she didn't have the lifestyle that I wanted. I wanted this person's lifestyle. I didn't covet it or nothing like that, but I'm saying he inspired me to work hard to get to in that area where he was at. My mom, my peoples, it wasn't nobody on this side that could tell me how to get to this side. So I had to go off, I had to listen to the ones that had what I wanted. If people over here are trying to tell me, how can you tell me what to do if you don't have it?
Point.
It just makes no sense. Like you going off of theory. I need some facts. I need somebody to tell me what's really going on. And that's who I chose to listen to. So if you didn't have what I wanted, don't take it personal. It don't mean that you're a bad person or that you don't know anything, but you don't know what they know. Because obviously they know something. That's why they're living like that. Obviously,
Absolutely.
So, but like I said, it's kind of hard. Like I said, that's where your growth comes. Everybody gets hit differently with different things for your growth to happen. And it could be, in my case, it was my mom. In your case, it could be something else. Some people, I've heard this and I've heard a lot of things, but it was always somebody close. It's always somebody in the circle. It's never nobody that's
outside. Yeah.
Outside. It's somebody inside that's trying to get here. So again, it's just something that you have to realize, and you have to nip it in the bud like right away, like nip it. because if they're going to always be like that towards you, you're going to be battling that person. So I had to separate from my mom. They say you got to isolate to elevate. That's what I did. I had to isolate myself from her to elevate, you know. And again, it wasn't that my mom's a bad person. My mom's a great person. Like, she just wanted the best for her son. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, she just wanted the best for him, but she didn't know what I knew. You know what I'm saying? So that's all it was. Just she went off what she knew, and I went off what I wanted and what I was going for. So it's just. I mean, like, you just got to keep going.
I agree. And on that note, I want to thank you so much for coming on. Guys, my mentor Rodney, like, announced it here.
Oh man, I appreciate you having me, man. I'm glad to finally, talk to you in person, because we talked on the phone and on WhatsApp and things like that a couple of times, but we never got a chance to interact with each other. So pleasure meeting y'all. I'm glad you're a part of the team, man. I'm welcome again. And like I said, I'm always here if you need anything. So let us know. And if you ever want to do this again,
I bought you like you bought mine.
Man, I'm telling you, like, I mean, we work for you, So I mean, hey, if you need us, we're here, So like I said, you let us know what your goal, what you want to accomplish, and we're gonna go from there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And guys, Rodney's IG is running on the bottom of the screen. Follow Rodney on Instagram. And for those of you who are watching this or watching the rerun, if you want to change your life, just type info at the bottom of this video and I will reach out to you. It's as easy as that. Thank you guys for listening, and have a good night.
Have a good night, y'all.